We have some GI Joe Transformers crossover leak news on a Titan class scale, and here to dish the dirt is our very special guest. It's Chad right now on Toy Habits Live.
And before we go live, smash that like button, turn on notifications, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss a beat.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Toy Habits. I'm Michael, and thank you for watching this very special edition of Toy Habits Live, and thank you for joining me and my special guest tonight to chat about this massive GI Joe Transformers crossover news. And the Toy Sorceress is on assignment, meaning she has a super busy work week this week, so she can't make the stream, but I wanted to give her a huge shout out. She was actually helping me keep the website afloat this weekend while I was in Reno visiting my son in college. So a couple huge things happened this weekend. So my son is in the marching band. Let me get him on screen. And yeah, so he is the guy in the middle. He's an awesome guy. He's starting his sophomore year in college. He goes to the University of Reno, and he also turned 20 yesterday. So happy birthday, Blake. It's kind of a trip to know that you have a kid that's 20 years old. But yeah, I just wanted to show you a visual because sometimes I talk about going up to Reno to see my son every so often. So I threw a clip together of his performance so you can get a visual. And if anybody was in marching band in the chat, just sound off. But let me kind of give you a taste of what they were doing. All right, and bonus points if you can actually name the song. I know it's probably really hard just given that it's a snippet during their halftime show, but hey, bonus points if you can name that. But it was pretty amazing to see him play. I'm so impressed because, you know, they work in upwards of 8 to 13 hours a day over the last 2 weeks. So I can't even walk and chew gum at the same time. So this thing takes a lot of dedication, practice, and talent to pull this off. I do have another clip, but I'm going to wait for our special guest to come on before I show that. But before we bring on our special guest, let's say hello to the chat really quickly to see who's in the house. We have Stanley's Toy Channel. We have Mitten with Card, With All Faults. We have Joel Coleman. Yes, it is Toy Habits time. We have Ryan Cole, Steven. We got Joshua Robbins. And Joshua is happy Monday. It's Toy Habits time. Everyone, member for 10 months. Congratulations, Joshua. And thank you for the support. We have Frankie Rivera, Mint with Card. And apologies if I double name people. I'm not great at my short-term memory is horrible. So this is why the Toy Sorceress usually takes this part. So, we got Toy Monkeys Customs. We have Aunt Ray Jones. We have Alex Valdez, we have Eric Valdez, and yeah, that is all the folks who have sounded off in the chat. And no, looks like nobody in let's see. Ryan Cole, that was drum major in my marching band. That's awesome. So drum major conducting the whole band, which was awesome. That's really cool. Mint with Card, played trumpet for our marching band. Nice. That's awesome. Very cool. All right. So I wanted to introduce our special guest. And I love talking to this guy. You know, he is the origin of the Triple T Cup and Mobat Optimus Prime rumors, leaks, and now both are confirmed, and some other super cool GI Joe classified series physical vehicles that are coming down the pipeline. He also served in the Army, in the infantry. So everyone give a huge Toy Habits welcome to our special guest. It's Chad. And how the heck are you doing, my friend?
Monday. Stellar. Thank you for that introduction. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. Like I always love chatting with you, especially about GI Joes, and then mixing Transformers in here is something special.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, thank you for that. Secondly, you know, I'm like a Joe guy. I don't want to say the Joe guy, but I'm like a Joe guy. But it's not just Joe. You know what I mean? Like when you're a lover of toys and these pieces of art, you know, sooner or later you're like, well, I got to get Boulder Hill, then I got to get a GoBots Command Center,
right?
You know, and then I got a bunch of Transformers. Yeah, so
yeah. Wanted to give a big up to Joe Coleman. Thank you for gifting 5 Toy Habits memberships. So 5 of you will be randomly selected to become Toy Habits members. So thank you, Joe, always for the support. That was so nice of you. We have a good crew here.
Yeah, that's really cool too, because yeah, channel memberships really help channels. I think more than a lot of people realize sometimes.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Want to give a huge shout out to Rob 2023 because we never really cover Transformers on the show, like at all. But he's one of our attic crew members, so we do like a monthly like chat on camera with all of our addicts, and he was like, I'm gonna get you guys to talk about Transformers.
Well, there you go, Rob. Your wish is our command.
Oh my gosh, and look who is here. The Toy Sorceress just popping in the chat for a sec while she is on assignment. Say hi to my partner. Hi, Chad, and hi to the Toy Habits crew. Hello, Toy Sorceress. We miss you.
Good to see you.
Yes, very awesome that you could join us in the chat, but so sorry that you have to work tonight, which sucks because it's supposed to be fun time after work, not work time after work. But
I wouldn't know.
I know, right?
Sorry, I was trying not to. I was trying to bite my tongue, but I did it.
No, I mean, congrats, man.
Appreciate it.
You put in your time, and you get to enjoy this part of your life, which is awesome. Yeah. I mean, especially with all the stuff you do, because you also do customs too. I've seen on your Instagram too. I'm like, I can't wait for like the next thing that you're going to be doing. Actually, what is the next thing that you're working on right now?
The next custom?
Yeah. If you can share.
Oh, I can share. All so right. Don't anybody steal my ideas, all right? I'm on you. So in your mind, picture the Hiss 3, right? The blue Hiss.
Yeah.
Picture the 3-barreled gun on the top of the Hiss 2.
Okay.
Now look at Tank from GoBots.
Yes.
Yeah. So since everyone likes to say that the Hiss is a tank, when it's not a tank, it never was a tank. That kind of started 1985, Arise Serpentor Arise, episode 1, where General Hawk calls them Hiss tanks. They were never referred to as Hiss tanks before that. So since there's a GoBot named Tank, and I'm known for always telling people it's not a tank. It's not a tank, right? It doesn't have a smoothbore main gun with a bore evacuator. It's not a tank. I figured as a joke, which is still kind of cool if you think about it, I'm going to take a Hiss 3 with the armament from a Hiss 2, and I'm going to make a tank Hiss.
Awesome.
That's
I can't wait for that. Like GoBots also has a special place in my heart because I used to spend summers in New Jersey, and my grandfather, he spoils his grandkids. He used to take me to the toy store probably once a week, and so I'd buy GoBots, GI Joe, Transformers. Had that guy. Had a bunch of GoBots. I totally forgot that they existed until I went to a vintage shop the other day, and I was like, oh wait, yes, they did exist.
Yeah, and you can see I've got GoBots smatterings all over the place. I got Crasher sitting up here, and GoBots have a place in my heart too. So to make a tank Hiss is kind of something I'm really jazzed about doing that one. The last one I did was a Rattler version 2, and that thing just it kicked my ass up and down the street. I technically worked on that since May for no reason. So,
I mean, it's fun, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
I love this. Robert says, Robert's Infinite Realms. That's a really cool name. Chad is doing better mashups than Hasbro. I want to agree with that.
Robert's a rad guy.
That's awesome. Yes, Mr. Ryan Cole, Mrs. GoBots. Yes, I do too. All right, so
you can get the big Revenge of Kronos figures from Big Bad Toy Store. I have that 9-inch Psykill, and he looks perfect right next to the Masterpiece Megatron.
All right, perfect. I will definitely be looking at those along with your the special stuff that you have brought out for this.
Fair enough.
All right, so let's chat and let's get down and dirty with the dirt. So Titan class GI Joe Transformers crossover.
Yes. So there's a lot to unpack with that. The video that I posted this morning, I had it's Kato from Kato's Collections on with me in the video to discuss it, because people can get wrapped around the axle when you talk about Titan class, right? Because there's like leader class, commander class, there's combiners and da. There's all this stuff with Transformers. It's not a Titan class. It is the size relative to a 1/18 scale GI Joe crossover. So it's the size of a Titan class.
Yes.
It's not that it's Metroplex. There you go. Right. So you got Trypticon, you got Scorpionox, yeah, you got Fort Max, you got all of them. Yeah, exactly. Right. There you go.
Yes.
But now in certain instances, I've seen Devastator classified as a Titan, but he's a combiner. So it just depends on what you look at.
Yeah, it's weird. I think the 2015 version of Devastator, they referred to it as a Titan class. I think, and really the Titan class are Transformers that are over 20 inches tall. And these gentlemen in the lineup here definitely fit that bill. Like, these are actually Fort Max, and I think he's the biggest at 2 feet tall. I mean, these things are massive.
I have that Fort Max, yeah, and he lives on the floor. And see, that's something that I think everybody, look, Michael, Transformers. I think that's something everybody needs to keep in the back of like your brain housing group, over 20 inches tall.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna come into play here.
Yeah, because it's not like they're saying, oh, we have a Fort Max or a Metroplex. It's character agnostic, right? It's the Titan class talking about the size and how monstrous these things are. And if you haven't held one, I mean, you kind of have to hold it like a baby or like cradle it.
Yeah, you got to pick it up under the armpits and be like, come on, Metroplex, let's go.
Yeah.
But the big thing to consider, yes, so the leak is, it is the size, it's Titan class size.
Boom.
That's the exact verbiage. Titan class size Transformer GI Joe collaborative.
Yes.
That's the leak. But what really needs to be understood and weighed out when all this crazy, I want to see a Metroplex GI Joe 83 headquarters. People keep saying like broadside USS Flag, and I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna make an 8-foot Transformer. It's just not gonna happen. But it's all about relativity in its alt mode and how it interacts with a 1/8. Hey, there we are. And how it interacts with a 1/18 scale GI Joe.
Yes.
Namely O-ring, right? Because the classic design O-ring Joes will only come with these offerings moving forward. Super 7's going to do their thing with Reaction Plus, and that's comics and animation. But the figures have to fit in the alt mode, right? So obviously this is the Thunder Wave. And another thing to really pay attention to, it's not so much what the robot mode looks like. Yeah, there's going to be, the usual, oh, look, there's a tape deck. But all of the attention is put into that alt mode.
Yeah.
And, you can say what you want about the Bumble Striker, the roll cage attached to his legs. He looks like Forrest Gump. Mega Hiss has a shopping cart on his back. They don't necessarily care what they look like in bot mode. They care that they blend in seamlessly, robots in disguise, in their alt mode. And you take that Mega Hiss, it's on my shelf with however many dozens of hisses. You don't even notice it unless you look for that gray on the front by the tracks and the additional armament on the top. That's it. The Thunder Machine is a brighter red and a brighter blue, but other than that, they're dead on. That Striker, you could put it next to 3 other Strikers and not even see the difference.
Yeah, I'm super impressed with what they've been able to actually hide in these things. Yeah, it's like, the Bumble Striker it's seriously, this looks exactly like the re-release that they did for the Walmart line. I was like, oh, they just used that for the picture because they were tired of transforming the guy.
And think about the Sergeant Cup Triple T that everyone said was a lie, was fake. That thing, look at that Triple T.
Oh,
it's dead on.
It is.
They did such a good job with that. The only things that you really see that give it away, obviously you have the Autobot emblem on the hood there, but you see the hinge on that mud flap on the track. That's about it.
Yeah.
It's pretty dead on.
It is dead on.
Look at that. That's super chat.
Oh, yes. Giraffe is also one of our addicts. He's hilarious. GI Joe HQ Metroplex or USS Flag Broadside ?
Isn't that the crap that I was just talking about?
Yes. Yeah, and this is why it's coming up again. Thank you for the $2 super chat, my friend. He likes to give people shit. So it's
it's totally cool.
No, but yeah, they did an amazing job, and we got to see this in person at Comic-Con, and it looks freaking sweet. I love that they did like an ode to Cups, the G1 colors, and then just hid the thing. And I'm sure if you turn it over and see if it's a girl or a boy, you'd be able to see the colors and stuff. But they do an amazing job with the engineering of these things. Like, I don't know how this stuff comes together.
They hid that mint green that is like synonymous with Cup. They hid it so well. But again, all this does is solidify the fact that sure, it's got Cup's head, it's got some Cup colors. That's a Triple T.
Yes.
That's it. You start from a Triple T and they kind of backwards engineer the transformation from there. Every single one of them.
Yeah, because if you've seen Cup, this looks nothing like his bot mode. It's basically his head and his colors, basically, is what gives it that Cup look. So yeah, I'm really interested to see what they're gonna do with this Titan class size, because the Titan class Transformers, they're a lot of not only engineering goes into them, but also electronics too. If you have the Fort Max, he speaks. And he has sounds. It's so freaking cool.
Sure does.
Triple T all day long. That would be awesome. Yeah, it's so funny because I think what people do is they relate their, I guess, the Transformers alt mode into like what it could be for a GI Joe vehicle. So I think I saw this morning like Sea Spray Killer Whale. Yes, the Sea Spray is a hovercraft, but they're never going to make a killer whale out of Sea Spray.
No.
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 Oh, how funny. Speak of the devil, killer whale. No.
Well, see, here's the thing. A lot of the previous leaks that I got, last year? Beginning of this year? I don't remember when those were. And that's when Cup was in there and the Optimus Prime Mobat. The classified Thunder Machine and things like that. Part of those leaks was the return of some of the usual suspect vehicles in 1/18 scale, but two vehicles that were directly named were the Killer Whale and the Night Raven. So that really, would I like to see a Killer Whale Sea Spray? Sure, because who wouldn't want another version of a whale?
Yeah.
Would I like to see a Starscream Night Raven, which I'm sure we're going to get into? Yes, I would love to see that, but if a lot of that stuff survived the Q3 and Q4 like meltdowns that Hasbro had, which I know a lot of it did, then those plans are still on the table. So why would you get a Starscream Night Raven or a Sea Spray Killer Whale if they were going to re-release those anyway?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there's kind of a lot of ifs and whats and all that stuff, but I have my prediction, and it's just a prediction.
Yeah.
The leak is 100%. Like that's take that to the bank, because, you know, like you've said already, I don't announce a leak unless I know it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what, you know, we've known. And it's funny because, you know, people give everybody so much crap when they start leaking stuff, but I think you start getting less and less as time goes on, because once this stuff comes true, like the Triple T Cup, people are like, oh, okay. One, he knows what he's talking about, and two, he's not shooting from the hip, and three, like, and then we do this too. Like, we don't leak anything unless we know it's coming. It's like,
and it's hard too, because you want to solidify the leak that you have, right? You want to be able to like justify and quantify it, but you can't give your leaker away. You can't give away your source, because then they get in trouble, and you don't want that. I mean, one, that's integrity 101, and two, then you lose your source. So
yeah.
It's an all around lose-lose.
Oh,
so I don't want to say like, oh, this is how I knew this and this is how I know this stuff. I mean, there are very few people in my inner circle who know where my leaks are from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the crossover line is getting so much better as time goes on. So I think, yeah,
this one's amazing.
It's freaking cool. Like, and I think I like too that they're doing things a little bit different with the O-ring figures too, like throwing a tattoo on Zorana and like just doing something different, making Zartan a carded figure like he was in the Japanese version.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Yeah, and somebody in one of my comments was like, "Oh yeah, do Starscream, Night Raven, and do Baroness with Ravage on the collar." And I'm like, "Okay, so they already did Baroness with one, and they already did Ravage to Zartan." Like, we just pulling stuff out. Like, I think it's cool that people want to speculate and they want to say like, "Oh, my dream would be," and that's awesome. But
yeah,
these things aren't going to happen,
right?
You know. Broadside flag is not going to happen. It's just not. There's not going to be like a Trypticon terror drone, which I've seen people ask for that too.
Oh my gosh,
that's not Titan, right? The Terrordrome itself would be what, two Titans side by side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
know. I know you know.
It's not going to. I mean, and
are you looking at it? Is that what you're doing?
You're
looking at it, huh?
Transform that. How the hell would you transform that thing?
Yeah. I don't know.
It would eat you alive.
Yeah.
It would eat you alive. But
well, you know, and the that's just physics. Like, the larger the piece that's on a hinge, you know, the flimsier the mechanism. I mean, you want to talk about things breaking. That's when things break.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's a fulcrum, right?
Yeah. And, you know, again, you know, we're talking size, not bot.
Right.
So get out of your mind, not getting a Scorponok, not getting a Metroplex. No. But yeah, think of the bot that's hiding underneath that GI Joe vehicle. And I love that you called out that the vehicles are built to be pretty much 95% seamless. Like, yeah, you totally can't tell that the Bumble Striker is a Transformer, and then there's little telltale signs if you take a look at the Triple T. But yep. I can't wait to see what they're going to be doing with this one. And again, we have no clue what's coming, and so this is like where the fun part begins. And like, what I like to do is ground like the speculation in something that could be realistic but also fun. And so this is where I was going. And so when you shared the news, like my mind went off, and you know, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many really cool long and large GI Joe vehicles that would make the grade for a Titan class size Transformer crossover. So.
Oh yeah, and like Suka's talking about in the comments, so Takara just got a license deal for the Valkyrie. That was yesterday. Suka, was that yesterday? That was yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, because Suka and I were talking about it last night.
Yeah. That's cool. So the Jetfire Valkyrie figure, which, you know, hey.
Yeah. Going old school.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not I don't know too much about like is this Robotech or is that something different? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's Robotech. I was reading Clint's comment there.
Okay. Chad, I don't believe your rumor is that the Jetfire rumor is just so far-fetched with very little evidence. This is why your evidence of 3/4 shows coming back, because it was yeah, I mean, the hell do you that one?
I don't understand it.
I don't either.
But how is it false that 3 3/4 Joes came back because they licensed them to Super 7 to do Reaction Plus? That's 3 3/4 O-ring Joes right there.
Right.
And Hasbro had always said they were keeping the, in quotes, classic designs for the Transformer crossovers. Like that's all common knowledge.
Yes. So not really.
The Jetfire thing, we'll get it. We'll unpack that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can't wait. And of course I saved that one for last, so you're gonna have to bite your tongue for a bit. Okay. You're like, all right, fine.
I'm good.
But that doesn't mean that I won't get to see my favorite vehicle that you own for a while.
Oh yeah, it's right next to me. You told me to get it. I got it.
I know.
Yep.
I know. So I was thinking a great contender for at least a mashup in Titan class would be a Night Raven, just because of the sheer size. You know, it is, what is it, like 4 or 5 inches longer than a Skystriker?
It's 29 inches and the Skystriker's 26. Yeah.
Okay. The only reason why I picked a Skywarp in here, because they were black. My mind is, you know, it's very simple sometimes, and I'm like, ooh, this would make a very cool mashup of a Decepticon and a Cobra vehicle. I don't know.
And see, you know, you have that darker gray underside. You know, it's a two-tone vehicle. You could easily make that gray a little bit lighter. You don't even have to make it that much lighter. You could make that Starscream just like that.
Oh yeah.
And I understand using any of the other Seekers, you know, because I think they're all rad. However, if you put yourself in the mind of a Hasbro executive, they probably know Megatron, Soundwave, Optimus, Bumblebee, Starscream. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I in your way?
Oh,
can you get down?
She's welcome on our show anytime.
Oh yeah, they're you know, they like their snacks.
Yes. But like, yeah, but what about the folks on the ground that, you know, that have their pet Transformer that they want to throw in one of these things? Or do they have to like make it so the execs understand, like, oh wait, I know Starscream, I don't have to go think about this anymore?
Yeah, and something to reconsider, which I had actually forgotten about until one of my channel members reminded me, which that, you know, that's why it's great to not live either A, in your own head, or B, in like an echo chamber. I had forgotten that in the Devil's Due IDW, like right in that transition period when they did the crossover comics, because, you know, they've done Joe Transformer crossovers a bazillion times. Starscream was a Night Raven, and he was Cobra Commander's personal escort. And I was like, damn, I forgot that.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot about that. So if we want to talk about threads, that's a significant one.
Yes. Yeah. And then, you know, of course we have and I guess you can substitute all, you know, the 3 Seekers that look exactly like this with Starscream. But I think it's neat, like the Night Raven, you know, could, if they did do something like this, the little drone could come off and like transform into something, which would be awesome.
Well, yeah, and Armada Starscream had a drone.
Yeah. A lot of the later Transformers. I think this is when my son was playing with Transformers. I had a fun time with him getting all the Armada stuff. Yeah, that was a fun time. If
you look at the construction of him in bot mode, and then you look at the Night Raven, could you? I'm sure the transformation wouldn't be 1-to-1, because we've already seen with all the other Transformer Joe crossovers, they are not, right? All new construction in regard to the transformation. But could you imagine just grabbing the cockpit of that Night Raven and pulling it out and flipping it under, like that would be stressful. That'd be really stressful.
Right. Because also too, a lot of the G1 Transformers, they were made with like metal and die-cast parts, some of them too. So a lot of the Transformers nowadays are in plastic. And so the Transformers that I remember getting for my son and playing with, I'd pop an arm off really easily. It's like I could just grab that deck and take it right off.
The Bumble Striker has metal.
Oh,
it's the only one that has metal, but his whole torso is metal.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
It's awesome. I have not gone intimate with the Bumble Striker to feel the chest.
Yeah. I get 2 of each one of them. I keep one box because they got me on that box art, the way that it slides open and it's Transformer on this side and GI Joe vehicle on that one. I think it's great box art. Yeah, but I keep one in alt mode, one in bot mode. I stick them around the room. Yeah, they're fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I know that they started doing like little cryptic things on like little cryptic hints on Bumblebee. Do they do those on every box? And did I just miss did I miss the one that was on Soundwave? Because it kind of hints at the next one coming, doesn't it?
I have a Soundwave box right over here.
Oh, you can check it out. It's been so long since I took a look at it, but I don't know if anyone in the chat remembers, but I thought it was fun just to kind of guess at what some of the cryptic hints could be. Want to say up to Allison Troy, member for 17 months. Greetings,
up Allison.
People. Jeez, send all angry comments about Jetfire to customer service at Harmony Gold. Will do.
I love Suka. He's a great guy.
Jetfire Skystriker come with ketchup and mustard just to stick to the GI Joe team. So yeah, let's put a pin in that. Put a pin in that thought. We got Rachel Salinas sneaking in here. I'll take the Seekers, make one of them the Cobra Condor. That's a good one. It's a nice little thin Cobra vehicle. Who knows?
I don't like the Condor.
It's all good.
Yeah, right.
You like what you like. You don't like.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what do you mean you don't like that Dino Hunter's dinosaur chew toy? Yeah, we're allowed to not like things. It's fine. Yeah.
That is true. That's definitely true. So you mentioned the box art. So one of my not complaints, but the box art for the planes at least doesn't really tease a lot of, they don't really show a lot of characters on here. And I don't know, like, is it Cobra Commander that's in the cockpit?
Yeah.
Okay.
The back seat.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's like, we haven't even talked about like what figures these Titan class crossovers could come with. I don't know how you feel about this, but I don't know why didn't Thrasher come with the Soundwave Thunder Machine? Was it just too predictable, or did they just not have the mold to do it?
Well, I think the whole thing with molds is pretty much moot because a lot of them were destroyed. A lot of them ran out. A lot of them were sold to Fun School or Estrella or any of those other companies, that were licensing Joe. I don't know why. The only person that I talk to that has any knowledge would not know that answer, most likely.
Okay.
I think maybe it was too on the nose.
Like predictable.
Maybe, but I also, see back to the previous executives know Starscream. They probably know Zartan,
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea, but
all right.
I could see why the Prime Mobat comes with Hawk, but we don't know who the second figure is or even if there's going to be one.
Yeah. Or even maybe a third. Who knows? Yeah, that's also another question too. If it seems like the bigger the Transformer, maybe the more figures it comes with too. So would a Titan class offering come with at least 2 figures, if not 3?
I would say it would come with at least 2 because I don't see them breaking the 2-figure plan unless they show us otherwise, for one, and two, like let's be honest, they put in another figure, they charge a little more money.
That's true.
So
yeah, I think Rob 2023 might have asked about like price point earlier in the stream. Let's see. Cup Triple T is $89.99.
Mm-hmm. And the first two were, I think, $75. I'd have to go back through my Amazon and look, because that's generally where I get them all from. But I mean, you could easily go on Hasbro Pulse or Amazon and see what they initially went for. But I do want to say that off the top of my head, the Mega Hiss and Bumble Striker were $74.99, I believe.
Yeah.
But they were also one figure offerings. So again, see back to the previous, chuck in another figure, charge a few more dollars. Everybody gets something out of the deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is true.
But as far as other price points, if we're speaking in regard to the leak, it's going to be Titan price. So $250 easily.
Yeah. So yeah, Rob asked if it was Titan class or Titan price point.
Titan size.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, Rob. So to clarify again, the leak is Titan class size, right, with an asterisk next to it. Titan class sized Transformer GI Joe crossover. And like Michael was saying, Titans, they can be characters, right? They're a classification, or you're also talking about the size of a city, scorpion, whatever bot in relation to something else. And with these crossovers, it's in relation to an O-ring Joe.
Yes. Yeah. I love your point about the Joe has to fit either inside the cockpit or the driver's seat.
Yes, they have to be able to interact with it in its alt mode. That is like the one like testament of these crossovers. They have to be able to interact with it.
Yes. Suka Thrasher was in the 04 Collector's Cup set, so they probably just didn't care. Poor Thrasher.
Well, sure, they're like, what about that schizophrenic guy? Put him in there. And they're like, okay, yeah, why not?
Yeah. We'll put a pin in this one, hoping for that Jetfire. Yeah, I mean, that'd be awesome. So there's another combo that I was thinking about, because Joe is land, sea, and air. We haven't seen any sea vehicles yet.
That is true.
So Amore, and I don't know why I picked Shockwave for this one, but I just think
Shockwave's rad,
freaking cool. So I'm like,
rad.
Throw him in there.
I mean, to see an Oxblood maroon and gunmetal gray Shockwave, I'm all for it. Or Oxblood gunmetal and purple, I don't care. Yeah, I would be all for this, because the hydrofoil, the moray, whatever you want to call it, it's a fantastic vehicle design.
It is. Yeah, they were so great at the vehicle construction and just the playability of the line when we were kids. Like depth charges, missiles. You have the actual hydrofoils that you can put up and down.
Yeah, the torpedoes, the gun ring. Oh, it's such a phenomenal vehicle, and they made copious reuse. They did some really good reuses of this.
Yes, they did. Yeah, there's the party guns in the back. You can just throw everybody back there, and just you can have the box art is fun too, because it's got Storm Shadow and the Baroness just hucking depth charges out manually. You set this up with a couple of lampreys, even like the later Con lamprey, the black and red and silver one, and you put 4 eels in the back on those guns. It's a beautiful display. It is.
Yeah.
It is very nice. But yeah, I mean, it's I think, and too, like a lot of the trying to figure out like how they would engineer this, like most of the bot maybe could go into the hull of the ship.
Yeah, it would probably have to be some kind of like boilerplate looking, where it all kind of tucks in and you just see seams. One thing I will give these crossovers is that they'll lock up pretty tight. Like one piece locks into another and things kind of not necessarily tab, but they almost kind of hinge into each other. They hold really well.
Yeah. Here we're getting Power Glide with Wild Weasel. There was a power that so that was a SDCC vehicle, right? It was a Power Glide, it was another non-transforming crossover, right?
Yeah, from 2011, I want to say until 13 or 14. Someone can actually me, but yeah, they made all of those. There was the Power Glide Rattler.
Actually, it's 2013.
Actually, Chad, yeah. There was a whole bunch of them. There's the DTC Soundwave Hiss. There's the Retaliation style Shockwave Hiss. There's the Hound Vamp. There's the Jetfire Skystriker. There's that super lazy Starscream Skystriker that just bugs me.
Yeah,
it bugs me. And then there's of course the Power Glide Rattler, which who didn't see that coming? So.
No. Ryan Cole, anything that gets me a Moray. That would be awesome to see a transforming Moray.
I'd buy it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying, I'm not going to put my money on that's what it is.
No,
but I'd buy it.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, it's not Titan sized.
But if you think about it in bot mode, it could be.
Yeah, it could be.
Possibly.
It could be. Yeah.
I'm looking at mine. I'm like, okay, it's
don't ask me how I know, Michael. Because I went and measured a bunch of stuff. So.
I know. I'm looking at mine and I'm like, I can't even make it over there to like measure right now.
Yeah.
Like, my room is still under construction. Toys everywhere, which I mean, it's kind of like my room when I was growing up. There's toys everywhere.
Yeah. But that's the fun of it, right?
Yeah, it was fun. Going back to the Night Raven. The Night Raven drone could be Laserbeak. Yes, if they did a Soundwave, or we could have Soundwave's companion in like mega size. Be huge.
I mean, yeah, you could do whatever with it.
Yeah.
You could make it like do some flips and tricks with it and it turns into a jetpack or something. I mean, who knows? They could do a million things.
They could. Oh, here's a good one. How about Broadside turning into a USS Flag?
I was thinking no one has said that yet. How about a sea spray killer whale?
Yes.
What about that?
We joke Snell's World, and I'm sure if you're clowning us, totally cool. We love it too.
You're not having fun unless you're poking at people a little bit.
That's right. Aren't we getting Prime and isn't he supposed to be a tank? I'll let you have the floor on this one.
Oh, what? Huh?
No, what?
Yeah. Optimus Prime Mobat. Yeah, and his classic Optimus gun is. Do I have a Mobat over here?
You probably do.
Not right here, but it's like 5 feet from me. But remember the Mobat, when it would go into the box for shipping, anyone who owns a Mobat knows that gun collapses. Right? That main gun collapses into the larger part of the gun. So collapse that down, pull it out of the turret. There's Prime's gun. Yeah, it's an Optimus Prime Mobat with General Hawk. Second figure TBD ? Standby.
Yes. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I love that because there's something to look forward to. It's like sometimes all the beans get spilled, and like sometimes we receive, I don't know, 10 or 15 figures of leaks, and we're like, we can't just blow the whole wad. You gotta space it out.
Dump it. And that's the thing though. If we all remember a few months ago, Emily herself teased that they were going to have possibly a 118 pre-order on one of their live streams. Yeah. That was when they were supposed to release Cup and they didn't do it.
Ooh.
Oops. So these did get pushed back. I want to say 3.5 months.
Oh wow, that's accurate. It's a quarter. Yeah, I mean, in corporate speak, that's a quarter.
It is a quarter. Yes, correct. Yes. Yeah. But this is also during all that turmoil. So Q3, Q4 of last year was not good for them. They changed a lot of stuff up. The whole reason why you don't see a Legends HasLab again, some stuff is for a reason, and all that will kind of unravel itself sooner rather than later. But they even outright said, this isn't like, oh, I have a scooper, so I have the inside track on this. They're focusing more on their owned brands. They said they were going to do that. So, and it's starting to show.
Yeah. It is. Want to give a huge ups to Justin Booth, member for 9 months, to my fellow Dolly lovers.
Yeah,
there you go.
I
love it.
Yeah.
Rachel Salinas, what is a Mobat?
Motorized battle tank.
Yes.
Do I need to get it? You're not serious, right? No, Mobat. Yeah. No, Rachel Salinas knows Joe.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
I think she was like, Mobat Optimus Prime?
Yeah. P.S. When anyone says Dolly lover, they owe me a quarter.
Oh, look at that. You must be rich right now. So
I don't know. I don't know. I'm rich in life, my friend. Rich in life.
Cheers to that. So this was one of the boxes that I was like, yes, there are pictures of figures on the box. Like, could you imagine Destro, Buzzer, Torch? Let's throw the vehicle driver in here of like execs. Yes, you may not know what it is, but yes, we do need the vehicle drivers because we're not going to get them otherwise.
Yeah, I could see Destro in a lamprey. I mean, let's say that, in the off chance it were to be a Moray and Shockwave, I could easily see Destro in a Moray or a lamprey. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I love about. Yeah, it's all of the air vehicles that, or at least the ones that I'm featuring here. They don't have a ton of figures on the boxes, but the lamprey. I mean, this is the definition of the party boat. I mean, Baroness and Storm Shadow look like they're having a blast.
Well, and Baroness. They're out fishing for Jaws, and she's got her boyfriend with her. They're having a blast. Gonna need a bigger boat. It's all good.
Yes. One of my favorite words, Moray is chunky enough to hide a good robot. Yes, it is definitely chunky enough. Yeah.
Correct. Giraffe is asking, wasn't there a GI Joe vehicle for the Dino Hunter? Yeah, that was the 6x6, and they just repainted it.
Thinking, Grimlock crossover. Keeping with the Dino theme.
That'd be kind of cool. I'd be down with that.
Me Grimlock. Yeah, is there something? Let's try to think if there's a GI Joe crossover Transformer aside from the vehicle that you didn't like, the air one that was mentioned earlier that you wouldn't buy.
Let's go. Grimlock.
Yeah, I don't know. I was not a fan of the Dinobots, like just in general in Transformers, and I don't know why. They never appealed to me.
I liked him as a kid. I did. I think I liked Grimlock's just his attitude about everything. King Grimlock, I'm in charge.
I forgot.
Tell Grimlock what to do.
All right, you might be getting me to consider them. No, I'll have to watch the cartoon again. War Chest is in the house. He likes to announce that he's here. War Chest is here. It's great.
What's up, War Chest? Plus, remember, in the animated movie, the Dinobots beat the bricks off a Devastator.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
Yeah. Devastator it's the only Transformer that I can remember throwing a tantrum about and like crying myself to sleep because my parents wouldn't buy me one.
Do you have one now?
I do. Yeah, he's right tucked up. Maybe you can't see
these lime green feet right there.
There you go. I used to have the Titan class 2015 Devastator, but I think I'd sold it because I was like,
yeah, that's the third party Devastator with the upgrades on it.
That was nice. That was good.
Yeah.
It was huge too.
He is. He's 14 inches tall.
Yes.
I measured him.
So this is a pipe dream of mine. Like the Rolling Thunder is just, I think it's a cool rolling piece of machinery that's also can hold some massive weaponry.
Uh-huh.
Ultra Magnus, I think, would be a great pairing for this, just because of the sheer. I think what the Rolling Thunder. Well, yeah, they like to boast that it was 3 feet long, and I'm sure you've measured that if you have one in your arsenal.
No, it's right over there. I can go measure it though. The thing about the Rolling Thunder, if you look at Ultra Magnus, one of the things that's always really prevalent are the rockets on his shoulders. You know, they have pretty much ICBMs that come out of the Rolling Thunder. Could you imagine those rockets?
There they are.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I was like, that'd be awesome.
There was a third-party company, I don't remember the name of the company, I would have to go find it again, that did an Optimus Prime Rolling Thunder.
Ooh.
In the OD, like a camouflage, but also in like the traditional Prime colors.
Nice.
And when he transforms, he is amazing.
I had to check.
And so when I knew that they were doing a Prime, when I first got the leak, like, hey, Prime's coming too, I was like, oh, please be a Rolling Thunder. And then like 2 weeks later, it was like, yeah, he's gonna be a Mobat. And I was like, what? No, come on. Could you do like Ironhide or somebody else? Like,
yeah.
And where is my freaking Hound Vamp?
Yes.
You want to talk about low-hanging fruit? Where's that guy?
Yes.
But again, Bumblebee is popular. The execs know Bumblebee. Oh, hey, remember that Bumblebee movie? Let's make Bumblebee the first one. You got to think like them.
Yeah, that's, you know what? Yeah, sometimes I don't, and then this is where this stuff comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I don't like to. It's funny because I lead a lot of like ideation and like brainstorming sessions for my day job, and it's like I like teach people like don't constrain yourself, and like, you know, kind of just have your wacky ideas, and then we can funnel them down into stuff that is going to be doable. So yes, so I'm in wacky idea mode right now.
you could easily do an Ultra Magnus Rolling Thunder. You know, the 4 front tires on either side are the arms, the rears are the legs, you know. And this thing's already designed to like, this slides back and these doors open and this thing flips up. It's already engineered like that.
Yeah.
And just bing, bang, boom, Ultra Magnus head, put the freaking missiles on his shoulders, done. There you go. And he's got a rover.
That's true. Yes. Barring the one that we're going to cover next, out of all the things that we're covering here, like, this would be, I think, one of my dream combinations of crossovers right here. Yep. Yeah, I don't have a Rolling Thunder, but then when I started putting this together, I was like, maybe it's time to get one. Oh, the whole family's coming.
Yeah, the dog's eating cat treats. We don't want that. So
that's so funny. My cat, you know, we'll leave the dog. Sometimes the dog doesn't finish their food, and so I'll hear this crunch, 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 and the cat's eating the dog food.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 The only thing is, so there's like dog treats, cat treats, because my pets are more than allowed in my Joe room. None of them jump on shelves or anything.
Oh, nice. That's good.
But because cat treats have like added sugars and stuff in them, it does not go well with dogs.
Oh no, you don't need that all over your house.
No, I don't.
I know what you're talking about. I was dealing with that a few days ago. I was like, oh, and
Yep.
and of course my wife was up moving my son into his apartment in Reno, and that of course has to happen while she's gone too.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
I don't want to deal with that.
Terrible.
It's funny. She deals with the dogs. I deal with the cat. We also have 2 birds, which, you know, we tease our cat with. They think they're such a cutie. All right, I gotta go solo layout for this one. That's awesome. So
yeah, that's our little Malinois.
Oh,
And yeah, Malinois are nuts. She's great, but she's nuts. Sorry. Anyway.
oh no, I love that. It's I love it like when, like, if I'm on a video call with my coworkers and, like, you know, they have to get their baby or their kid walks by. I'm like, so freaking cool. Like, we need more babies and kids in this stuff.
Agreed. Yeah.
Uh, hey, Michael, Mom said you got some gray in that beard. Yes, I do have gray in that beard. Yep, I'm an old man. I mean, I have a 20-year-old son. I'm like, I'm old. I do, but it's fun. Rob is another one of our addicts, and so sometimes his mom will pop on and say hello. She's very cute, very sweet. We always love to say hello to Rob's mom.
That's cool.
And we'll do it again tonight. What's up, Rob's mom? I'm sure
gray is it's distinctive.
Yes, there we go.
My brother had this amazing beard, and it was almost like Orson Welles. The way that the gray, like it's just in the front, but it kind of wraps into itself. Yeah, my brother's beard was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. The last time I saw him, I was like, dude, you look like Orson Welles. Like, that's a badass beard. Really good beard.
And it's natural too. It's like the way that, like some of the beards that just have like the colors in the right places, and they're all matched too. Yep. It's awesome. Rolling Thunder was another one of these box arts that had a feast of characters.
Oh yeah.
And I know that they're not gonna make all of these things, but like aside from Shockwave, like there are some characters in here that probably are not going to see the light of day ever in this lineup.
I think Armadillo, who's the driver, I think you could get rid of him, right?
Yeah.
He's not the best vehicle driver. Let's just
admit it.
He's no skid mark, you know?
Oh my God. The guy with the unfortunate name.
The man just yelled from the back, Skid Mark.
I love it. Yeah, it's so funny when I came across Skid Mark's name, and I was like, who the heck thought of that name for that?
He's
guy?
like my co-pilot. I take Skid Mark everywhere I go.
I know. Just the name is funny.
Oh yeah, he's ridiculous, man.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, you got Spearhead, Shockwave, Lightfoot, Hardball, Repeater, and of course your favorite Armadillo driver, because of course we have to, in my headcanon, we always have to have the
And I mean, Shockwave's always been pretty beloved, especially when the classified one came out. I believe it rekindled a lot of people's appreciation for Shockwave. So I think Shockwave would be a good call. And Repeater, you can't go wrong with a guy who's kind of looks like he just jumped out of Jim Cameron's Aliens.
Yes.
Yeah. So
no, totally. Yeah, I think of those figures that are on here, Shockwave and Repeater would make really, really good ones.
Yeah.
I like Lightfoot's drone that he comes with.
Yeah. His weird little, it's like a dollar store birthday candle. It's supposed to be like a bomb disposal drone.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh, and here we go. This is where it is. Over 3 feet long. Over 3 feet long. Look at that. So you're like you're tempted to go over there and check it out, huh?
Maybe when it's fully opened, because I have 2 of them, right?
Yeah.
It's not a flex. I'm sorry. I have 2 of them, and they're both on bookcases that are 2 feet wide by 6 feet high. Now, granted, they're kind of canted, and the back's not completely extended out, right? Because you know that whole main gun, you can slide that all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when it's fully open, it's over 3 feet long.
Okay. Well, that's good, because I'm thinking about getting one, and if it is less than 3 feet long, collapse.
You know what? When we're done, I'll get up with the tape measure, and I will take a picture for you.
Thank you.
Because one of them is closed, one of them is partly open.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Last one that we're going to talk about is one that you think is a very definite possibility.
If I were a betting man, which I'm kind of not, this would be 100% my call. There's lots of reasons. One, we discussed how, Hasbro executives are going to Hasbro executive. They only know like the most popular things. Granted, we talked about Starscream being popular. That vehicle is the most iconic GI Joe vehicle hands down, period, paragraph. It's the first thing you see in the very first animated episode of anything GI Joe. Yes, they made a HasLab 118, which they admitted they probably shouldn't have made. That shouldn't have been a HasLab. Right. But Michael, let me ask you a rhetorical question that I already know the answer to. What is the length of a Skystriker?
26 inches long.
You are correct. It's 26 inches long. And a Titan scale needs to be at least how big?
20.
And what's the most popular GI Joe vehicle ever?
Skystriker.
Yeah. See? And this was like I know you want to see it, right? This is like
okay. Hold on. Let me get Solo. Okay.
This is the ultimate San Diego Comic-Con crossover. Beautiful. 2013 Jetfire Skystriker. It's like, what can you say about this thing other than it's breathtaking? Everything about this vehicle is breathtaking. It fits perfectly for a Transformer. And think about if you took this vehicle at 26 inches and you started extending legs out of this thing.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you're talking taller than 26 inches. Mm-hmm. I mean, my aftermarket Devastator is 14 inches tall. My Masterpiece Ultra Magnus is 12 inches. My Masterpiece Prime is 12 and a half inches. Now you're talking like commander classes.
Yeah.
Right. For the most part, those are commander classes. This thing fits perfectly in with so many boxes that you have to check. Right. Iconic, easily recognized Joe vehicle, because remember, it has to interact with the figures in the alt mode.
Mm-hmm.
One sec. Gotta say goodbye to the missus.
Oh yes, go do what you need to do. Yeah, Jetfire it's one of my favorite Transformers. Just the iconicness of him, and I know that he doesn't look like he did in the cartoon, which we'll get to in a little bit. But I've always wondered if they were going to do a crossover. So I pulled some, of what Jetfire looks like, or actually Skyfire.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, he was a Decepticon first before he changed over sides to Autobot. But I'd actually love to see kind of this version of his character in bot mode instead of the Valkyrie version.
Right. And there's a lot of other bot mode versions of Jetfire that came later. Like there's some more recent ones like the Earthrise and whatnot where he looks awesome. And he doesn't look anything like the Valkyrie.
Right.
But also, if you look at him in his alt mode in that top left image, I mean, there's a bunch of Transformers riding on him. Remember, like Jetfire was supposed to be massive. And then even in his robot mode, everybody's like, oh, Prime, Ultra Magnus. No, Jetfire towered over all of them.
Huge. Yes.
Yeah. So my money, not a betting man, my money is on Jetfire Skystriker. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. Also too, like, do you think because they've just made, or not just made, they've recently made a HasLab version of this, they could reuse maybe some of the parts, or would it be, I doubt they would go start this thing from scratch and maybe just figure out how to reverse engineer it from an actual Skystriker.
No, but even if you reuse all of the wings, like just reuse the stabilizer molds and the wing molds, that saves you money right there. The freaking cockpit mold, like there's several things that they could, they could cannibalize from the HasLab. They have the molds.
Yes.
That they could easily save money on. So again, that's another argument toward why I believe it's the Jetfire Skystriker. Yes. It makes the most sense. Would I love to see a Night Raven Starscream? 100%. I would love to see that. I'd buy them both. I'll buy them all. I don't care. But
you heard it here.
Like understanding to the best of our ability, because nobody can really get in their shoes, but to the best of our ability, understanding that executive mindset. How do we save money? What's the most, recognizable or iconic, on and on and on.
This is it. Yep.
The only thing I know is the leak. The leak is solid. Otherwise, I would have never said it. But this is my bet.
Yeah. And you're not a betting man, but if you were, this would be it.
Yep.
Christopher Kelly, I would love a blue Cobra F-15 Thundercracker. We have enough F-14s. That is very true.
Yeah, and that's why I wouldn't want to see like, oh, it's a Starscream Skystriker. It's like they did that lazy thing before. Enough with the F-14s, unless it's going to make sense like this. We don't need F-14s anymore.
No.
You could do a F-35 Starscream or Thundercracker or Skywarp or any of the Seekers. You could do them as an F-35, an F-18, F-22 all day. Because they did the Thunderwing, right? They did the Thunderwing for GI Joes.
Yep.
So, yeah. I don't want to see any more F-14s unless it's this guy. I'm biased toward this.
How many, I guess, in your Joe room that you have there, how many Skystrikers are you looking at?
9.
9. Nice. And one of them is the SDCC crossover, right?
Yes.
Nice.
So I don't have the Skystriker, or as you were, I don't have the Starscream version, and I don't have a Night Boomer. I have all the rest of them.
Oh, nice.
And
I did have a Night Boomer come through my collection once. So this is when this was back in the day when I was buying just collection after collection just for the figures, and I would just put all the vehicles or whatever just up for 99 cents and see what they would go for auction. But I've had so many of this stuff cross my eyes and my hands, and I was like, why did I get rid of this stuff?
I had a chance at the modern Night Boomer, and I kind of waffled on it because I was like, yeah, it's a Night Boomer, but it's like, it's that one-seater, like, remade, wink, it's a Night Boomer, but it's not the Night Boomer.
Yes, you need the Night Boomer.
And because I waffled on it, and then I was like, screw it, at least it's a Night Boomer. And I was like, yeah, I'll take it. It's like, yeah, I already sold it. So I was like, you know what? Then it wasn't meant to be. It's all good.
That's true.
Yeah,
definitely true.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
That's you know what? I need to realize that sometimes.
Yeah, but you got a Terrordrome.
I got 2 of them.
That's right.
Not to flex, but
I got 2.
All right.
Stack.
I love, that was one of the things that I loved what you did. It's the stackable Terrordrome. I kept mine separate just to have a place for the Iron Grenadiers to hang out because they don't mix.
Right. And no, they don't. They do not play well with Cobra. The only reason I stacked my Terrordromes is because I had a 100% complete Terrordrome that I restickered and everything. And then I found one that was like 70% complete, and it didn't have a lot of like the armor pieces and the guns on the top. And I'm like, that's fine, because I took that whole top shell off. I took out the launch tube, and it's basically just the flattest part of the base. And I put a 16-inch round computer monitor swivel stand on it. And then I stacked the complete one on top of it. So they'll all rotate.
That's freaking cool. I need to see how that functions.
Laser Pants, what's up, Ryan?
Oh, dang. Look at him sneaking in here. It was very, very fun to meet him in person at Comic-Con.
But you didn't meet Glob Shillman. You met Ryan.
I met Ryan. Yeah, I heard about Glob Shillman from Ryan. Totally missed it.
Half those Hasbro people knew who he was, and they just played along.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's awesome. But
I kept trying to get somebody to get a picture with one of the Hasbro Joe Team people in my Never Go Full Classified T-shirt, and it just didn't happen.
Oh, sorry.
Next year, I'll do it next year.
Oh, that's okay. I saw your post about that, and I was like, I bet you. Yeah, I think it's probably that.
Yeah.
So.
And it's just for fun. It's not to be negative or any of that stuff. Like,
well, just send one to me and I'll do it.
Okay.
There you go. So question here. Ketchup and mustard didn't fund as the last tier. I mean, I was trying to. I bought 5 Skystrikers. I was like, I need like all the tiers to fund because we're all into this.
We needed the Rancor to fail faster. And then we would have got ketchup and mustard.
That's true. Oh my gosh.
I don't need Night Force. What's his ripcord? I need these guys.
Right. We have a Cobra. Do we have a Cobra deck crew
for nothing?
GI Joe.
Nothing.
Yeah. It's funny because when I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy a few Strikers and make one Cobra and make one Joe. I'm like, I never made one Cobra. I'm like, for somebody who didn't missed out on it, I sold them all at cost. I was like, who cares? Make somebody happy.
Yeah, I could see. I'm pretty sure that's a joke. I'm gonna say I'm pretty sure it's a joke.
Well, he knows you pretty well, so
yeah, I would say it's a joke. But like you can't hear tone. I'm not salty. I have a very kind of dark sense of humor. Like I'm a lifelong infantryman. Like all we do is rag on each other all the time. Like that's how we have fun. It's just fun.
Yes.
I could see ketchup and mustard. Yeah. Yes, that's true. I am. And flavorful. But you got to at least do like Ace.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? Get freaky. Do Pilot Scarlet. I don't care. Right?
Yeah.
But ketchup and mustard would be good. You want to talk about like, hey, and that's another way that they could just hype it up. Yeah. Like you didn't get these guys with that HasLab Skystriker. You're going to get them with the Jetfire Titan class size. Like people would jump on that grenade all day.
Oh, totally. Because I think that's where the Star Wars folks get into trouble because they're like, oh, you can only get this figure. We're only going to make it for this HasLab. And when it doesn't fund,
Tarnica sisters.
Yes.
Hey, can you highlight Christopher Kelly? Not the shuttle one, the So They License one.
Yes. Let's see. I did see that one. This one?
Yeah. So they license 3 3/4 O-ring to Super 7, and then Hasbro keeps releasing their own. It's just odd. Well, their deal with Super 7, it was already in place when they were doing Reaction.
Yeah.
And they wanted to keep doing O-ring figures, but Hasbro's all about rewards and no risks. So they renegotiated their contract with Super 7 and said, you can do O-ring figures because Super 7 had wanted to do them, but it can only be comics and animation. That's it. So like classic designs based on cartoons or the original Rudat designs, or as you were based on the original Rudat designs, the original Real American Hero 82 to 94 run. Those are specifically only for the crossovers. So I don't know. I think it makes sense.
Yes. And then I'm gonna flash this one for fun. What about a shuttle Astro Train or Galaxy Shuttle since they never fully redid a Defiant?
Do you want the dimensions as the Defiant? Do you want it?
Do I
want one standing right here?
Do we want a Defiant to fly by? Is that what you're
I'm not gonna pick it up. So when I got my Defiant, I got it from my good friend. He's like everyone's good friend. I got it from Scuba Pete, and him and Jeff Barker walked it out on a 3/8 inch sheet of plywood in a massive like 4x4 square, and they were carrying it like a wedding cake. Wow. And I didn't realize how large the Defiant was until I owned a Defiant.
Wow.
And they're massive.
They're huge.
There's no way. Now, do I think they should redo the Defiant? Absolutely. It crushes under its own weight. The blue doors are completely fragile. The pins will hold up. Like you'll shatter the doors and the pins will stay perfect. But it needs a redesign. It really does.
Yeah.
I think that would be a worthwhile HasLab.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not even all about the crowdfund model, but it's the only way you're going to get one.
Yeah. No, it would be like how they did Eternia for Masters of the Universe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that made sense, right?
Yeah.
Because if you didn't own an Eternia and you wanted one, you're going to pay as much, if not more, than the Matty Collector new one, trying to source an original one, and like the flags, forget it. The tracks are so fragile. By the time you even like tongue and groove them, you're shattering them. You might as well just get a new one if you don't own one.
Yeah.
And I think if you put out a new Defiant and you kind of, retooled some stuff, the only thing that's bulletproof on that thing is the crank mechanism. That thing never fails.
That's it.
Yeah. I would see that. Defiant Omega Supreme. I swear with people. Dude, I stopped replying to people's comments on my video because like
you have a lot.
Yeah, it was like pushing 6K before I stopped looking, just before we went live. I stopped replying because all of them are just, well, this is dumb. I want this and I want that. And I'm liking them, but I'm no longer replying. I'm just like, it's a waste of my time. So
You would be there forever too.
yeah, pretty much.
But no, I was looking. I'll look on Heritage Auctions just to see what they have. They had it was maybe not Heritage, but another off auction site other than eBay, and somebody had a inbox Defiant that they were throwing up for auction, never used, never opened. Do you want to guess how much that one went for?
12 grand.
Higher.
Whoa, really?
Higher.
19.
Higher.
How about just forget it? Just forget it.
$57,000
for a sealed 87 Defiant.
Yes.
Nope. No, sir.
And it wasn't me. I did not buy that one. I do buy a lot of crazy stuff, but that was not me.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it is nuts. So yeah, so it would definitely make sense for them to redo. Yeah, a lot of the bigger ones, like even a Terrordrome, like redoing that would be nice for people, because a lot of the ones that I look at, they're yellowed. A lot of the blue structures around it, they're so fragile. I mean, I broke a peg off of.
Yeah, when you lock those in, you hear it like. I will say this: a lot of people aren't aware. I'm sure you are, right? Because you know everything. When Resolute came out, there were plans drawn up for a Resolute style USS flag with the round conning tower and the two launch decks off the front.
What?
Yeah, you remember what the flag looked like in Resolute?
Yes.
They were going to make that same size as the original 85 flag.
Dang.
Yeah.
But never happened.
But the bean counter said, nope.
Nope.
But they almost did. They were like right there. Yeah.
Corporate bean counters. I want to say what's up to Paul Galliano. So I hung out with Paul at Comic-Con. So like that was another fun thing at Comic-Con, is just getting to meet the people that are like in the chat that you've never met, and they come up to you and you're like, oh my God. I'm like, I have the same reaction. I was like, it's you.
Who are you? Yeah. Well, when I was at and Paul's really rad. He's in all the awesome chats. When I was at DFW GI Joe show, and I'm on the 4th floor, I get in the elevator out of my room to go downstairs. This guy gets in the elevator on the 3rd floor, and he's like, you here for the GI Joe thing? And I'm thinking, well, my shirt probably gives it away. yeah, absolutely. And he's like, yeah, me too. And I'm like, right on. Go down another floor, go down to the 1st floor, doors open. He's like, are you it's Chad? And I'm like, yeah, I am. And I'm wearing this hat, like the hat that I'm always wearing. But yeah, you know how it is. Like when you're in somebody's physical space, you don't realize like, oh, they're that tall or they're that short or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're tall. I think I've heard you. Yeah. I've heard
6'4", but also Clark Kent.
Oh, they see?
Because when I'm not 15 inches away from my monitor, I wear glasses.
All the time?
All the time. Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to look out for that. Yeah, it was funny. I was in a vintage, one of my local vintage shops, and I was talking to the owner. So I mean, I'll chat with him for probably half an hour of my time when I'm there. And I was I went back and I was looking at the GI Joe case again because his whole store is like 20. It was 25% off in August, and I was like, that's a decent, like it gets you below eBay prices. I think he wants to sell the stuff. He wants the big stuff to move, but I'm like, I'm buying the small stuff. I'm like, screw that. I'm buying what I need. But so there's this guy who comes up next to me, and we're looking together for a little bit, and he turns to me, he's like, "Are you Michael from Toy Habits?" Because he heard my voice.
Right.
And so, but really cool guy. He lives like, I don't know, like 30 minutes away from me. And so, he's got his own territory that he covers with his Targets and Walmarts. I got my own. And I was like,
get out of here.
No. I'm like, we can help each other. Like, my Walmarts suck.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's totally cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to meet everybody out there that comes up. So
I love meeting people in the wild. It's awesome.
Yeah. Jeez. There we go. Is it the people that join late? That should we have
it's Nico Tronus, and he knows.
He knows. Should we have played your secret word game? Like,
what's the word of the day? Metroplex. Yeah.
It's not the word of the day, it's the thing of the day. Really outrageous ideas for Transformer crossover. Yeah. There we go. Oh, yes.
And okay, so thinking about Metroplex, think about Metroplex's colors, right? And then I'm looking at the tactical battle platform, and I can see where a lot of people kind of put those two together because the colors kind of match, right? But like you and I were talking about backstage before we went live, like, where are you going to hide all the bot stuff? Like underneath it, and then it's just going to touch the water anyway. I don't see how that works. But.
It's funny because I have mine up on I don't know. I have Billy's. I don't know what are your bookcases. Billy's back there.
They're just bookcases.
Oh, they're bookcases. Okay. So the Billy's from IKEA have a certain size, and so
we don't have IKEA.
Oh, okay. And so I bought these like 15-inch desk extensions that are like they're really wide and they can clamp on the top, and so I can actually fit the battle platform. I can fit some other things. The Terradromes are actually hanging on. I'm like, please don't.
Yeah. You showed me that picture of when you put that first Terradrome up there.
Yeah, so I'm looking at my tactical battle platform, and I would just be looking at a whole bunch of Autobot parts and probably Metroplex's mug in there, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to look at all that.
No,
it was all thin. The thing is too thin too to be a Transformer. It would be like do you remember the building that transformed into a robot in Big?
Yeah.
It'd be like
it's a building. Yeah.
A building.
Who wants to play with what kid wants to play with that? Yeah. Exactly.
All right, so definitely coming Titan class. Do we know what the sequence is?
No. Trying to get further. The only thing I know is that it wasn't even on the slate until after the Prime Mobat. So using some measure of critical thinking skills,
which I don't have right now.
Yeah. I rarely do myself, but I don't see it being the Decepticon offering between Cup and Prime because that wasn't announced until months after Prime. Right? Because I got the Prime leak 6 months ago.
It was a while. Yeah.
It was about 6 months ago. Yeah.
Probably. I don't know if it was.
And the Titan class size, not Titan. That was last week? That was like last week. So yeah. That doesn't match up.
Yeah, you're pretty spot on. That was about 6 months ago.
Man, I try to be consistent as much as possible.
That's good. Good. Yeah, so they'll be continuing with alternating the Decepticon Autobot offering, I'm sure, right?
So then the next question is, who's the Decepticon between Cup and Prime?
Ooh. Well, to open the door, I forget if we talked about this backstage or here, the vamp hound. Could there be a stinger something? Because that would open the door for a vamp hound.
I mean, you got to figure like, yeah, you could do Stinger. You could do one of the Iron Grenadier vehicles.
Oh,
you know,
I
you
love
could
those.
do like Brawl, you know, Dominator Brawl.
Yes.
Like, I'm sure there's something they could come up with. But
Yeah. That'd be
I
fun.
don't know. We'll see. Cobra Parasite. Make it happen.
That's your favorite, right?
Oh, God.
There we go.
It's the Cobra Rat. Duh.
Yeah, but this is the wild card. So if they decide to make Jetfire Decepticon, which I don't think they will, if they do, they would have to make him both symbols. That's what they did. I bought one of the third-party Jetfires, and basically in the chest he has an Autobot and a Decepticon symbol that goes back and forth. But I don't see them doing that at all. They have to, they have to make that true blue.
Yeah, because then what do you do with the figures, right? You do one Cobra, one Joe, and then it's just you're just muddying the waters at that point. And half those people over there, like their heads would catch on fire. They'd be like, I don't know what we're doing.
They'd be like, next to the layoff list.
Like, well, you're gone. You're gone. It's not funny. Layoffs aren't funny, but
no, they're not. No, I've every company that I've been through has had them. I've been part of them. They suck.
Hey, I went through the big Department of Defense downsizing in 1996. So even though I've only ever been military, we felt that. So that was bad. That was really bad.
Yeah, that was.
There's a lot of options. There's a lot of possibilities. Like I said, I don't have any definitive proof of what it is. Otherwise, I would have said it. But yeah, I mean, my money's still on Jetfire.
Yeah, that's a good bet. My money's on anything but, because I'd love to see something else. But I would dig a huge like Jetfire, like an actual transforming Skystriker Jetfire. Yeah. Like the one that you flew by was awesome, and I want it. Are you gonna pick it up again? Oh boy,
this one,
yes,
this
that bad boy.
I'm just saying, like, tell me that's not like,
and it's so perfect.
That doesn't fit as a Titan.
It totally does.
All day.
Does. And it's the perfect combination right there.
Yeah,
it is.
Striking colors, recognizable vehicle, all that great stuff. So I don't know.
It is all good. Paul, speaking of third party, are you getting any of those ramen toy tanks? Michael, Chad, I know you don't do classified 1/12 scale. No, I'm not getting those ramen toy tanks. I'm downsizing my classified series quite a bit because
you and everybody else.
I didn't have any room in my previous base to, like, all of my GI Joe 3 3/4 inch stuff mostly was in the shed in the side yard. And so now I'm seeing everything, and I'm like, I don't need the classified version of it because I have the vintage design right behind me and in front of me. So I'm like, I'm good with that now. So what I'm doing with the classified series is, like, I love the Hiss tank was great. I like the factions, like the fire team was cool.
Hiss, Michael, Hiss, not a tank.
Oh, sorry, the Hiss. No, please correct me. I love it.
Sorry.
Yes, the Hiss, when they came out with the trouble bubbles, like that was one of my favorite as a kid, and so I just wanted a bigger version of it, and I got like 12 of them when they went on clearance. No,
that's a lot of space.
Well, if you look, you know what, backstage I'll show you what this room actually looks like, and then you'll see. You'll see. But I was like, okay, I like the Dreadnoks. I like the smaller vehicles like the Ferret and the Tiger Paw. Got those. But like I don't need like probably 80% of the classified series figures that I have right now. So I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, nostalgia's cool and all that, but it only gets you so far. And I'm not trying to be the negative Nancy about it, but when you've seen this stuff since 1982 at least, whatever, at some point it loses its luster. Or a lot of the characters, what happens when they start getting into 91 and 92? A lot of the people that love the neon year stuff, then they'll be all over the moon about it. But a lot of people are going to go, no, I didn't like that stuff in the 90s and I don't want it now.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who crapped on the 87 movie and Cobra Law who were like about to beat up somebody's grandmother to get a hold of that Cobra Commander. So
yes. It's funny how
real
changes, but I was thinking too, like I have nostalgia staring me right in the face. So I'm like, there it is. So
yeah, I got, however, I have a complete original Palitoy Robo Skull.
Nice.
I still bought the Skeletron one just because it was updated just enough. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I'm going to get one. Then I got two. And then now I'm still waiting for them. And the buzz is just wearing off.
Oh yeah. That's one of the things. I have another friend who I think he buys like some Mezco stuff, and like some of their stuff is delayed by like years. And it's like, he doesn't even want them anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Brian Merchant asked, didn't they do an SDCC Skystriker Jetfire? The one I held up? Yeah. No, they did not have to stop selling that. So you're talking about the Harmony Gold thing? No. That was the original one, and they had to change his name to Skyfire and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Not this one.
No.
Plus, they did some different things where, yeah, it kind of looks like a booster, but really it's like a little drone capture pod. You put like a bad guy in there or whatever, and you can fly him. Like, they changed all this around. So it's completely not the same principle.
Nice.
Yeah. Plus, it's not a Valkyrie whatsoever.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That is true. But awesome news though. I mean, like, to just to hear that they're have something like this in the works was really fun to hear, because I didn't know when I saw the Megatron his tank starting to get clearanced and all the stuff, I was like, are people buying these, or are they going to continue them? And then I'm like, there goes my O-ring Joes that I wanted.
Again.
Right, again.
Sad face.
Yes. It's really sad face, because I was really excited when they were like, yeah, we're relaunching the O-ring with the Skystriker, and I was like, cool, let's do it. And then they released some, like the Stinger was fun, when that was a surprise
and that was out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was
there was nothing leading up to like, hey, did you hear they might make a Stinger? And then it was just like, boop, there it is. Yeah. I jumped on that thing. I absolutely did.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. I mean, and also just having the box art back too, that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, is fun as well.
I did like that Walmart retro run. I understand like the first couple waves, they were just like, oh yeah, just take those 50th anniversary molds and chuck them in there, whatever. Put version 2 Snake Eyes on a version 1 card. Nobody will care, but people did care.
Yeah.
But the last couple waves, I thought the figures were great. And just to be able to go into Walmart and see a hiss with that, original box art. Oh, it's so good.
Yes.
So good. I loved it. I really did. I wanted to see that keep going, but
yeah, I did too. And I think you've said this as well. And I think we maybe think the same on this one. Like, they could have had that retro line be like the Star Wars Vintage Collection line, right? With the 4-inch figures, with the articulation, they have their O-ring line, and then they have their 6-inch line, right?
You know what's funny? Wait about a little less than a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Give it about a little less than a year. See back to this conversation, and then go, huh? Weird.
Okay. I'll talk to you again in 11 months.
We talk to each other like every other day.
I know we do. We'll circle back in a little.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, especially now that all the Disney IPs are in a, to put it nicely, a state of flux in regard to Hasbro. When you're talking like roughly $400 million, for licenses up front. Dang. And then you have to make a figure like Rose Tico or the Eternals or the Acolyte figures, and they'll just get yanked anyway.
Right. I just saw those.
It really just benefits Disney more than Hasbro when you kind of weigh it out, bullets to band-aids. So we know they're going to start focusing more on their owned IPs. Yes, absolutely. They can do with Joe what they've done with Star Wars. Star Wars is a huge name. It's just not very healthy right now. And the move with Super 7 for them to do O-rings and the Reaction Plus, also vehicles and playsets are included in that. Once when they changed their contract, vehicles and playsets, a lot of people failed to mention that. I kept hammering on it, but you know what? I'm a smaller channel. Nobody listens to me. So
it's funny. We had mentioned that too, and it was funny because the source came from a very unlikely place. We were just chatting with the guy in the local Super 7 store, and he was like, "Oh, they're going to be making vehicles for the Joe Reaction."
Yeah, because you and I talked right after that, and I was like, "Yeah, I knew that like months ago."
Right.
Where you been, man?
Did not expect that to come from the guy who was just all the guys who run the store, my logo store, are awesome.
But what's cool about you finding that out from him is because I knew that. I told you, I told some other people, and then he told you that, and I'm like, all that does is solidify the person feeding me leaks.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. That's the one thing about the corroborating evidence. It gives you a lot of confidence in the person, and especially when it's a new person. You're like, are they trying to bring me down, or are they just being genuine? And
well, you don't really see these people. You don't meet them. You don't talk to them. There's no face to face. There's no like looking at their language, and it's not just verbal, but it's like body language and things like that. Verbal, nonverbal types of communication. You don't see all that, so you can't really suss them out.
Right.
It's just, hey man, I got some leaks for you. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I am pretty damn confident that we're going to see Joe the way that we currently see Star Wars. So you will see
love that
vintage in the form of O-rings. Hasbro doing classic designs with the Transformer Joe crossover stuff. You're going to see the Super 7 Reaction Plus stuff to include vehicles playsets. Hasbro still considering bringing back the usual suspect vehicles with the Whale and the Night Raven, from what I was told. That's still on the table. And the relaunch of the 4-inch modern figure subscription service. So
nice. I would love that, because I think I missed out on a lot of those figures, and they are just out of reach right now. I'm like, I'm not spending 300 bones for a.
No, that's what they should have done with that Walmart retro line. They should have put like Dial Tone in there, and then a wave or two later put Footloose in there. The mainline characters that never really got made in modern construction until figure subscription service. Like, why did you hold off on those guys?
Yeah,
Dial Tone's rad. Cover Girl, so on and so forth. But the Battle Android Trooper version 1.8 squad leader, which is the red version, not the orange and lime green version, that one loose, $400.
Jeez.
Where's the October Guard?
Right.
But I don't think they'll do October Guard at all anyway, because of the whole charge climate. Yep. I've been saying that for how long, Michael?
Long time.
Yeah. That was one of that first like massive leak dump video that I did. That was one of the first things I talked about. The classified figures, the classified vehicles.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
too.
when I talked about the ferret and the tiger paw. That's weird.
Yes. Oh my God. Huh.
and the Stinger. Funny. It's
What?
funny how that works out.
Yeah. Oh, I did get a classified series Stinger.
Nice.
Because I wanted the little one as a mini me. I don't know. I wanted mini me and his big brother.
Nice. That's cool.
Oh, and one of my other favorite things was the MMS, or they renamed it the HMS. I needed something to tow that thing, so I needed another vehicle. So
I don't know why they renamed it the HMS.
I don't know. So I track Mattel and Hasbro's trademarks because it kind of gives you a hint at what they're doing, and so Mattel loses. I don't know how this happens. If maybe they were out taking a whiz when they had to like refile for the trademark.
Yeah,
but
you forgot to click the button before you went home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang it. A year passes by. Oh, somebody else got it. But yeah, this is how the Ground Ripper, the Road Ripper, and the Vintage Masters of the Universe line changed to the Ground Ripper. And it's like it'll always be the Road Ripper, but on the box it's the Ground Ripper, which is sad.
I have a carded example, a perfect carded example.
Ooh,
of
let's
exactly
see
what you're talking about. So, yeah, they sure love to lose. They love to lose names, right? Well, that doesn't say Baroness, does it?
It does not.
No, because they lost to
Chameleon.
Baroness. Yeah,
Right,
they lost to
Chameleon.
Baroness for a hot minute. Did you know that this is a fun fact? When Bobby Valla bought Action Force and Steel Brigade, he could have bought Flint and Serpentor.
Oh.
And I tell him all the time, you shoulda. Just because you shoulda.
Did he just not
He didn't want him. Steel Brigade is like his thing. Like
Hmm.
he probably has the largest single Steel Brigade collection in the world.
Oh wow.
It's always been his jam. So when he had the chance to buy it, he bought it. Why not? Right. So
Yeah.
Yeah. But they lost Flint, they lost Serpentor. That's why it's Sergeant Stalker now and Sergeant Flash now, and it's not Nemesis Immortal, or Nemesis Enforcer, it's Nemesis Immortal.
I see.
Because of the Resident Evil game.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I know that the trademarks change, but sometimes I don't know why they change or what the story is behind them.
Yeah. It's a lot of, just like you said, like somebody wasn't paying attention. They're like, dang it, I lost that.
Oh shoot.
Can you highlight Bill?
Yes. What is this LOL? Or is he just like what other leaks?
Well, I mean, I have some.
Yeah. Well, but
just because I don't buy the stuff doesn't mean that the source that I have doesn't feed it to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
how many people you got watching?
95. It like bobbles between 95 and 100 right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of annoying.
Ah.
Okay. So yeah, Gonzo's like, I'm all ears. So obviously we already talked about the Snowcat and the Thunder Machine, right? We've discussed that before for anybody who didn't hear it the first time. So just like the Vamp, the Stinger, on and on, those are available to just purchase. They're not HasLabs. So the larger size vehicles like the Snowcat and the Thunder Machine, they're going to be another higher price point, roughly 150, 175. And those are just going to be coming out.
Oh, that's great.
That's kind of older-ish news.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to talk HasLab?
Why not?
Why not?
If you're ready, sure. I don't want to.
No, I'll drop it. That's fine.
Right.
So
you give me something to do.
A lot of people say that, well, Hasbro is always about Easter eggs and this, that, and the other thing. And one of the patches that comes with the Rattler shows a tank, and it says Tank Smasher. That is true. But originally, the codename for the Rattler wasn't Rattler, it was Tank Smasher.
Yes.
They changed it to Rattler before it went into production. So the whole Tank Smasher thing is just a wink and a nod throwback to the original codename for that aircraft. But a lot of people talk about that tank. When they do these HasLabs, they do what's called a market research focus group. And they do it for all their lines. It's not just Hasbro, it's all the companies. They all do it. They do it all the time. What would you pay for this? What would you like to see in this? You know, and they'll show like images. Which would you like this? Would you like that? How much would you be willing to pay? Blah, 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 blah. The big thing right now is what's the most you would pay for a HasLab? Right?
That's what they're trying to find out right now.
Yeah, but there's a reason, right? So there's a why to everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they generally put up 5 candidates. 2 of the candidates are in the lead right now for the next GI Joe HasLab. One of them almost won the last one, which was the Rattler. The Rattler was on the one with the Dragonfly, and then the Rattler carried over and then won. You know what I mean? It's like war of attrition kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But one of the ones that was on there with the Rattler that almost beat out the Rattler is the Whale.
Oh.
Another one on there with the Whale is the Mauler.
Dang.
There's a couple others too.
Nice. So these are all in consideration for. And were you asking me personally how much I would pay?
No.
No. Okay.
No, that's just it's one of the things that they always put in there.
Oh, I see.
Research focus, like, would you pay $600 for a GI Joe HasLab? You know, they put that in there. Like, what's the most you would pay? And there's like options. 600 was one of them. I was like, that's kind of pushing it, but
yeah. So
yeah,
that's interesting.
There you go. So
all right, well, you heard it here, which is awesome. All right, so okay, so they have 5. They had 5 contenders. Dragonfly, and so were the Rattler and the Dragonfly part of these 5?
No. So they change, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So the 5 change, but the Rattler was one of the 5 contenders with the Dragonfly. The Dragonfly won, the Rattler carried over.
Oh, so in this
I don't think they always carry over, but some of them carry over.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, I'm
Suka, imagine you buy a $600 Defiant HasLab and the shuttle is gummy. You just squeeze it in there. Yeah, so some of them carry over from, you know, one to the next. It's not like an all the time thing, but yeah.
Yeah. And of course you would pay $800 if it transformed into a sea spree, right? See, giraffe is great.
Get out of here with that.
Would you buy a 1/12 whale if it came out?
See, that's tough because it falls into the same scrutiny as the hiss. I've always said, and I'm sorry, I'm just staring off at my toys. I've always said that if the hiss had interchangeable cockpits, like the Skeletron offering of the Robo Skull, which I thought is brilliant. Now, a Kickstarter company has to, you know, they have to cast the widest net possible. Like, you can put any figure you want in this, which is smart. Hasbro doesn't necessarily have to, especially when it's a HasLab and none of the risk is on them. Could I have modified that hiss to hold 2 4-inch figures in the cockpit? Absolutely. Do I want to spend that much money on a HasLab to take a Dremel to it? No. I just don't, right? I'm not going to back something that I'm only backing it so I can tear it up. It just seems weird. So would I love to see would I love to see that vehicle? Yes, because LCACs, which is what a hovercraft is, an LCAC is gigantic. Like the ramp that comes down, like tanks and, you know, LAVs and AAVs and all this stuff just come pouring out of an LCAC. They're gigantic. So a 1/12 scale whale would technically be a true 1/18 scale LCAC. But then again, I'm left with all these positions for figures. What am I going to do? I got to modify them and do all this like hocus pocus just to no, probably not. Especially if it's $600. And I'm not saying it will be the HasLab, and I'm not saying it will be $600, but we're all talking hypotheticals. If they made a HasLab classified scale killer whale, I mean, I can't even put a 4-inch Joe on the freaking recon bike. You know, it's like, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Would I like to see it? I'd love to see it.
Oh,
Just to see it, I'd be like, wow, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's another reason why I go up to the vintage shop too, because they have a killer whale. I think just a couple of the veins are broken on the back of it, which always happens, but it's
but if you don't care, just get aftermarket ones. They're cheap. They actually hold up way better anyway.
That's true.
So this one, right, this Night Striker that I restored, I have all the original, OEM for the car people. I have all the original stuff, but the shrouds are legit because no one can really 3D print those shrouds because, they're round and they have like pegs and tabs and they're very difficult.
Yeah.
But those are reproduction vanes. My original vanes are sealed in a bag, in a box, in a drawer.
Nice. And they're not unbroken, correct?
They're unbroken.
Because you're not risking putting those things on.
No. But these, because they're a sturdier plastic, they're like that PLA, they manipulate easily. I can grab that little control arm in the back and they swing just fine.
Huh. All right. That gives me some hope because the store is still 25% off. So I'm like,
I'm telling you, you can get reproduction vanes. They are no muss, no fuss.
Can I get reproduction Terradrome parts too for the? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I need to. We'll chat afterwards. Be like, okay, see everybody.
Hey, like in electrical work, when you put the wires together and then you put those little wire caps on them.
Yeah.
The large red wire caps work perfectly for the gun tips.
Right.
But you can get aftermarket gun tips too.
Yes, that's true. Or you can get the vintage ones and pay through the nose. Yay.
I was reading Gonzo's comment. I'm sorry.
I was just reading that one too.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Not to be read out loud.
All right. Well, this has been fun as always, Chad. Yeah, thank you so much for just sharing all this news with us. And yeah, I mean, it was just amazing just to hear this come from you. And I was like, ooh, okay. When he puts this was actually the perfect day to have this stream. Like, I don't want to do this like any other time. When you drop your video, like this was the best day to do this.
Yeah, the timing really, really worked out.
Yeah.
And you guys are always so great with like, the master stuff and the crossover this and you guys are so reliable and so good when it comes to all that stuff. And I may not be into the toys, but I love always seeing a post on Instagram from Toy Habits. And, I always look at it and I was like, oh, let me go check this out. So,
oh, thank you.
yeah. And like you and I are friends and we talk, like whenever I get Joe stuff, I'll share it with you. So,
yes. Oh yeah. You've seen some of the recent stuff that I've been I'm going to call it binge buying because yes, I'm sprinting right now.
I like to call it doom scrolling.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'll be doing later. But no, I need to quit for a little bit.
No, I hear you, but if you are considering that whale and it just has broken veins, get it.
Okay. Yeah, I need to get over it needs to be like 100% perfect. And I think I am a little bit because my stun has repro stickers on it. And I'm fine with that because they look gorgeous. My Terradromes have repro stickers on them because it looks gorgeous. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I'm not selling these and I'm going to enjoy them. I'm going to enjoy the heck out of them.
And I see it so many different ways too. I would rather have something that's 70%, 80%, get it, have it in my collection, be able to appreciate it for what it is, and at some point complete it.
Hmm.
And if it's with repro parts or if it's with original parts. If it's with repro parts, that's fine because it's mine. And I mean, we're only stewards of these, pieces of history anyway. At some point, they're all going to go to somebody else, and
Yeah.
I don't see someone. Oh, that's a reproduction part. I don't want that.
Right.
That's just
no. That's good. It's I need to do. It would actually make my life a lot easier if I can convince myself to do that. But I want to. Mega Day Retro is funny because every time we're on his show, he always tell him Jay sent you. And I was like, I've never heard anybody say that Jay sent them. And here we go. We have John Guzman.
See, that's a nice story. When Laser Pants and I have our streams, we always tell everybody in the chats, go over to this person's and spam like the most obscene emojis that you can. We do that back and forth. Eggplants, stupid stuff.
Squirting.
Yeah.
Water.
Just have fun. So.
See, tell him Jay sent you. But speaking of which, where can everybody find you?
It's pretty simple. It's Chad. It's underscore. I think it's underscore. Whatever. You just put in it's Chad. You'll find it.
It comes up.
It's easy enough. Yeah. My Instagram got nuked. Viper Island. So kind of one of those things that had to start over from scratch with Instagram. But I generally try to stick to the YouTube side more so than the Instagram and the Facebook stuff. Yeah, but it's Chad on YouTube.
Nice. Always a pleasure to have you on. And yeah, you're again one of my favorite people to chat with. So. I wish we went closer together.
Well, I will see you for sure at next year's San Diego Comic-Con. So.
Oh, excellent. Good. Yes.
Yep.
Or
Ryan convinced me to go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll have to.
Never been.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have a blast. Wow. I'm so excited for you. All right.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and also, thank you for just trusting us with the news as well. So,
well, like I said, you guys are the go-tos for leaks. So,
thank you.
Yeah,
and we'll be back at our usual time. So Fridays during my son's marching band football season are a little sketchy, but we will be back this coming Friday with a fun topic on future Masters of the Universe crossovers. So
sweet,
be there. So, but
are you going to talk about the Masters Thundercat stuff?
We already did. We did it. So it's one of the Toy Sorceress was talking to some of the designers in the Mattel booth because they all watch our show and they're like, oh, what would you pick for the next, like, this is after their Thundercats tease. And I was like, wait, what? They're already thinking of another one. So we did a poll on our site to see, like, okay, if they were going to do something after the Thundercats, what would it be? And so we'll focus the show on that.
I'll check that out because I'm curious.
There's some interesting things in there. So it'll be fun. Well, all right. Well, we will see everyone Friday again. Chad, lovely having you, and everyone have a fantastic night.
Thank you, my friend.
Welcome.